Hi! Today I'm going to be doing the His Dark Materials book tag. This book tag was created by Jen and Holly, and I will link to the original video below. I have my questions, wrote it down in a notebook. I have my versions of the books. Here we go. Question 1. What edition of the books do you have? Well, I have these American editions in a box. They're all shiny, and honestly, I got them because they were the cheapest. I also like that they're the individual books and not bound in one big volume, which some editions have, which are really beautiful editions, but I like to read a lot when I'm commuting, so I carry books with me, and one of these books it weighs a lot less than all of them. I also own Lyra's Oxford and Once Upon a Time in the North, which is a beautiful cloth-bound edition. An actual board game in the back, which I've never played. But I like that, I like tactical things. Lyra's Oxford has a very beautiful map in the middle of it. This is so, look how gorgeous it is. Question 2, which is your favorite book? Out of all three, I mean, I kind of view them as like the same story, but I think The Golden Compass is my favorite book. Because I've read it the most out of all of them. I started as a kid with The Golden Compass in the translation. It wasn't until much later that I even knew there were sequels. And that is just because it's the introduction to the Lyra, who I love, and Lyra's world, which is so special to me, and the way she's climbing over the rooftops with Pan and all the demons, and it's amazing. That's not to say I don't love The Silver Knight or The Amber Spyglass. There are some amazing things in those books, so it's really mean that you're making me choose. Question number 3. Who is your favorite character? Again, they're all my favorites. All of them. I guess Lyra just has to be on the list of my favorite characters, because I just adore her. Just the way she, as a young girl, you know, is secure in her own power. Like, at the ending of The Golden Compass, like, spoiler alert, if you haven't read the books, don't watch this video. When she decides, well, if all these people think this is a bad thing and they are horrible people, then it must be a good thing. And she just makes a choice to go for it, you know? And that is, oh, that makes me love her so much. It's so empowering. I also deeply love all of the other characters, but especially Lee Scoresby, but even more than Lee Scoresby, Hester, Lee's demon. Like, if you have how much I love Lee Scoresby right here, this is how much I love Hester. Hester is the absolute best. So I think if I have to choose, like, favorite characters, it would be Lyra and Hester. Question number 4, the one I've been dreading. What would your demon be? Ever since I've read the first book, I have been struggling with this. This has always been like a little bit, tiny little bit in the back of my mind. Like, a tiny little bit of my grey matter is devoted to, but you should know what your demon is. It's like a symbol for your soul. What is your demon? If you don't know what your demon is, you don't know who you are. And I have narrowed it down to a couple of options. Namely, either an otter or a badger. I would like it to be a fox, but I don't think that I am the type of person to get a fox demon. I think, like right now, coming up on winter, yeah, it's a badger. It's just a grumpy old badger. Question number 5. Which world would you most like to live in? I am tempted to say Lyra's world. I want a demon. I want to be there and climb on the roof of Oxford, even though I am afraid of heights. The way it's described, I would like to be a scholar. But I'm not very scholarly. I am not an academic person. I'm a practical person. Just let me make a product. That's the environment I thrive in. So I don't think that would actually work for me all that much. I think like some other parts of Lyra's world would be very interesting. I would just like to explore Lyra's world more. I mean, I already know the world Will is from. Is our world. The one in the middle is just not that interesting to me. And the one where Mary goes with all the lovely elephant wheel people. I should have looked up what they were called. I would like to visit, but I would not like to live there. Question number 6. Which object would you choose? The Alethiometer, the Silver Knight, or the Amber Spyglass? I think I would go for the Alethiometer. Because then I could ask it whether I'm correct in assuming that my demon would be a badger. Yeah. That is basically all I would do. Is like, Alethiometer. Is my demon a badger? Alethiometer. Am I really a Hufflepuff? What would be my Patronus? You know, all the shitty internet quizzes about yourself? I would use it for that. Question number 7. Have you read any of the accompanying literature, like Lyra's Oxford, Once Upon a Time in the North, or The Collectors? Well, I've read Lyra's Oxford and Once Upon a Time in the North, but I've not read The Collectors. So that's on my list. I really enjoyed Once Upon a Time in the North, especially because of the look we get into Lee Scalesby and Eric. I like Lyra's Oxford just because it meant spending more time with Lyra, but I don't think the story that's in it is very interesting. I much prefer Once Upon a Time in the North. I would recommend reading that, but after, because even though it's a prequel, there are spoilers for what happens in the books. Question number 8. What has been your experience with the series? Well, I read the first book, The Golden Compass, in Dutch when I was a child from the library, because I read basically everything that was in my local library. And I think it was probably translated with the same title as the American one, because I can't remember ever having known it under a different title. I know it's called Northern Lights in the British edition, but for me it's always been The Golden Compass. And for the longest time I didn't realize there was a sequel, and I kind of felt like, well yeah, it's like an open end and it's nice. And then years later I reread it, I borrowed it from a friend in English, and even then I didn't read like the sequels. I think that was around the time that I learned there were sequels, and it wasn't until I got my own copies that I read all of them. And then reread them because Mark did them on Mark Reads, I think. Maybe I just read all his posts. Which feels like rereading the series. If you want to recapture the feeling of reading these things for the first time, read what Mark wrote about him, because it's his experience reading things for the first time. I think I've reread them once since, but I'm not sure, actually. It could actually be that I've only read The Silver Knight and The Ember Spyglass once. Either way, I'm going to be rereading these like around Christmas, I think. Like right around the time where I am so completely done with winter and there's still 2 months of winter coming. That's when I will read these. Yeah, we'll see how I feel about them after I've reread them again. Maybe The Golden Compass isn't my favorite of the 3 by then. Okay, so if you have managed to watch this video to the end, then I tag you, because I assume you have read these books. I tag you, viewer. Do this tag. Tell me all about your experiences with his Dark Materials series. Or if you don't want to make a video, just leave comments down below. Subscribe!